The heat is on across the U.S. By the middle of this week, more than 2/3 of the country will be fleeing the oppressive temperatures. Today will be the 25th straight day of temperatures hitting at least 110 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. Just the latest in a series of intense climate conditions we've been covering. This year alone, we've seen a surge in temperature shifts, deadly floods, and natural disasters, many of which tied back to the effects of climate change.
Extreme temperatures wreaked havoc across the world in 2022, one of the warmest years on record. Places where cold is the norm are experiencing abnormal temperatures with devastating consequences.
This is no rowdy ski holiday. It's a research station near the South Pole. And minus 11.8 degrees Celsius was 40 degrees hotter than usual on March 18th. It's probably the largest temperature anomaly ever recorded. Incredibly, at the same time at the North Pole, some places were 30 degrees warmer than usual. Mountain glaciers, such as this one in the Himalayas that feeds the mighty river Ganges, continued to shrink as India was hit by heat waves that came earlier and were longer and/or hotter than usual. Pakistan also sweltered. A few weeks later, both countries were hit by massive monsoon rains. 1/3 of Pakistan was flooded, creating a huge humanitarian emergency. The floods destroyed farmland, killed more than 1,700 people, and displaced more than 33 million. West Africa also suffered an unusually heavy rainy season, with months of flooding in Nigeria displacing up to 2 million people. In East Africa, the rains failed again, worsening the most severe drought in recent history. The UN says 36 million people are affected in Somalia and parts of Ethiopia and Kenya, with more than 5 million children malnourished.
Indonesia is currently in a critical situation. The latest data shows that Indonesia's carbon emissions reached 600 million tons per year, mainly from the energy, industry, and the agriculture sectors.
If we don't act soon, climate change will make our environment even worse, and the impacts were already being felt. Extreme weathers, more frequent floods, droughts that kill crops, and the loss of precious natural resources.
Without significant change, Indonesia is in danger of falling short of its 2060 net zero emission commitment, a critical target to stabilize the climate and protect the future generations. The agricultural sectors, as one of the largest carbon emitters, needs urgent solutions. How can we farm in a more environmentally friendly way and still be productive? Well, this is how you do it.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, are driving up the Earth's temperature and fundamentally changing the world around us. The main cause is a phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. Gases in the atmosphere, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, let the sun's light in, but keep some of the heat from escaping, like the glass walls of a greenhouse. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped, strengthening the greenhouse effect and increasing the Earth's temperature. Human activities, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than 1/3 since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands of years. Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica, are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise and spills out of the oceans, flooding coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme. This means not only more intense major storms, floods, and heavy snowfall, but also longer and more frequent droughts. These changes in weather pose challenges. Growing crops becomes more difficult. The areas where plants and animals can live shift, and water supplies are diminished. In addition to creating new agricultural challenges, climate change can directly affect people's physical health. In urban areas, the warmer atmosphere creates an environment that traps and increases the amount of smog. This is because smog contains ozone particles, which increase rapidly at higher temperatures. Exposure to higher levels of smog can cause health problems such as asthma, heart disease, and lung cancer. While the rapid rate of climate change is caused by humans, humans are also the ones who can combat it. If we work to replace fossil fuels with renewable energy sources like solar and wind, which don't produce greenhouse gas emissions, we might still be able to prevent some of the worst effects of climate change.
Indonesian agriculture is facing an environmental crisis due to climate change. Carbon emission from agricultural activities continue to rise, and the impact is increasingly felt.
This problem will continue to occur if farmers do not have access to technology that can accurately monitor their soil conditions, such as carbon levels or soil moisture.
The utilization of smart carbon farming applications is very relevant in this day and age. This can be attributed to the fact that the world is faced with major challenges arising in relation to climate change, land degradation, and increasing global food demand. Therefore, this app is considered as a technology-based solution that allows farmers to manage their land more sustainably and in line with global efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
If left unchecked, not only will crop productivity fall, but Indonesia's commitment to net zero emission by 2060 will be endangered. The quality of our soil is deteriorating. The uncontrolled use of chemical fertilizers reduces the natural fertility of the soil and increases carbon emissions. Soil that was supposed to absorb carbon has become a new source of emission.
Agriculture accounts for a large share of global carbon emissions. From the use of heavy machinery to land burning, these activities add to air pollution and exacerbate climate change.
Another problem that often goes unnoticed is the overuse of water and fertilizer. Farmers often overlook how much water and fertilizer they need, resulting in wastage that actually damages the soil. This not only increases production costs, but also contributes to increasing greenhouse gases.
Some air pollution comes from natural sources like volcanic eruptions, wildfires, or allergens. But most air pollution results from human activities, such as energy use and agriculture. There are different types of human-made air pollution. When we burn fossil fuels to produce energy, they release greenhouse gases into the air. These emissions, such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated gases, trap heat from the sun in Earth's atmosphere, leading to a rise in global temperatures. This creates a cycle where air pollution contributes to climate change, and climate change creates higher temperatures. In turn, higher temperatures intensify some types of air pollution.
However, there is a solution with the Smart Carbon Farming app. It offers real-time soil monitoring, efficient water management, and recommendation on the appropriate use of fertilizer, all aimed at reducing carbon emissions. The app also helps control carbon emissions from farmland with an emission calculator and guidance on the use of bicar, which will restore soil fertility.
With this technology, we can reduce the negative impacts of agriculture and contribute to a better environment.
Smart technology will help us face the challenge of climate change.
Smart carbon farming is taking agriculture towards a greener and more sustainable future.
This app is not just for farmers, but for the future of the earth.
Let's use technology for greener farming.